Occasionally, the aforementioned meditation techniques are classified into two groups. 1. Sabataka Kamatana meditations applicable or beneficial to all situations. Meditations which all people should practice regularly, that is, loving kindness, metta, and recollection on death, maranasati. Occasionally, the contemplation on foulness, asubha sanya, is also included. 2. Parihariya Kamatana meditations requiring supervision, meditations suitable to an individual's unique disposition. When someone undertakes such a meditation technique, one needs to continually safeguard it so that it acts as the foundation for higher levels of spiritual practice. The commentaries state that these 40 meditation techniques are distinguished by how suitable they are for different individuals. People should select a technique appropriate to their character and inclination, referred to here as disposition, charya. If one chooses an appropriate technique, meditation practice will be swift and successful. If one chooses an inappropriate technique, practice may be slow and ineffective. Charya literally means ordinary behavior. It is referred to a person's normal temperament, underlying character, and proclivities. The term charita, character, demeanor, is used in reference to a person who possesses such behavior and temperament. A person whose behavior is dictated by greed, for example, is labelled as having a greedy character, raga karita. There are 6 major character types. 1. Raga karita, people whose normal behavior is governed by greed, whose temperament is predominantly greedy, who incline towards beauty and elegance. Such people should use the counter meditation on foulness, asubha, as well as recollection of the body, kaya gata sati. 2. Dosa charita, people whose normal behavior is governed by anger, whose temperament is predominantly angry, who are acutely hot-headed and irritable. The appropriate meditation technique for such people is loving kindness, metta, and including the other 3 pure abidings, Brahma Vihara. Also apt are the kasina meditations, especially those using colours, Varna kasina. 3. Moha charita, people whose normal behavior is governed by delusion, whose temperament is predominantly deluded, who are primarily influenced by ignorance, listlessness, confusion, and credulity. Such people believe whatever they are told by others. This tendency should be rectified through study, inquiry, listening to Dhamma discussion, or living with a teacher. A supportive meditation is mindfulness of breathing. For Sada Charita, people whose normal behavior is governed by faith, whose temperament is predominantly devout, who are primarily influenced by inspiration, delight, and devotion. Such people should be directed towards truly noble things and towards meaningful reflections. For example, a recollection on the virtue of the triple gem and on their own moral rectitude. Also suitable are the first 6 of the 10 recollections, anusati, see below. 5. Buddhi Charita or Jnana Charita, people whose normal behaviour is governed by knowledge, who are predominantly inclined towards contemplation and discernment of the truth. These people should be encouraged to engage in reflections on nature or on virtue which increase wisdom, for example, to reflect on the 3 characteristics. Appropriate meditation techniques include recollection on death, recollection on peace, analysis of the 4 elements, and perception on the loathsomeness of food. 6. Vitaka Charita, people whose normal behaviour is governed by thinking, who are predominantly inclined towards convoluted thinking and incoherent reasoning. This should be rectified by using methods, example mindfulness of breathing or the kasina meditations, which restrain this tendency. The behaviour of these different character types differs. When those of a greedy character, raga karita, encounter something, the mind seizes onto its good or admirable qualities. They are impressed by these qualities and overlook any faults. The mind of angry character types, dosa karita, on the other hand, collides with any minor fault or deficiency. Even if the object at hand possesses many good qualities, they get caught up in aversion before considering the merits of the object. Those whose character is governed by contemplation, buddhi charita, are similar to angry character types insofar as they tend not to become infatuated with anything. Contemplative types look for faults that exist but are able to dismiss them. Angry character types, however, look for faults or discredit an object, even if these faults are non-existent, and turn away from the object with aversion. Those of deluded character, moha karita, see things with a lack of clarity and tend towards apathy. Instead of understanding things for themselves, they follow the opinions of others. Those governed by thinking, vitaka karita, reflect in a desultory way. They first think of the merits of something, then think of the faults, but are confused and indecisive, not knowing which way to go. Those with a devout character, saddha karita, are similar to greedy characters insofar as they tend to see the merits of an object, but having recognized these merits, they rejoice in them rather than become infatuated like a greedy person. In any case, people tend to possess a mixture of these character types, for example, greed mixed with excessive thinking, or anger mixed with a contemplative streak. Besides choosing a meditation object that is appropriate to one's character and disposition, the scriptures also encourage people to choose suitable and supportive conditions, sapaya, in regards to other things like dwelling, climate, food, personal belongings, and resort. Besides the factor of suitability in relation to various character types, the 40 meditation techniques also differ in regard to results. They lead to different levels of concentration, see in the diagram below. In regard to taking up a meditation practice, the commentaries suggest following a formal procedure. After the student approaches a teacher or virtuous friend, the student should make a declaration dedicating himself to the Buddha in such a manner: Blessed One, I relinquish myself to you. Or he surrenders himself to a teacher: Venerable Teacher, I relinquish myself to you. This self-surrender is a way of generating a sense of sincerity and determination in practice. It dispels anxiety, creates a feeling of warmth between teacher and pupil, and allows the teacher to assist in the best way possible. The student should establish the qualities of non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion, renunciation, desire for solitude, and a desire for liberation in the mind, as well as aspiring to concentration and to nibbana. At this point, he should ask for a meditation technique. If the teacher possesses the ability to read minds, he should use this power to determine the student's disposition. If he does not have this ability, he should make inquiries. For example, what sort of character are you? What are your predominant traits, emotions, and thought patterns? What sort of contemplations make you feel at ease? What meditation techniques do you incline towards? The teacher then selects a meditation technique suitable to the student's disposition, explains how to begin meditating, how to sustain the focus, and how to develop the meditation. He explains the nature of mental signs, nimitta, the various stages of concentration, and the way to protect and to empower concentration. The commentaries offer additional observations on these 40 meditation techniques. Readers who are interested in these subtleties of practice should refer to the commentarial sources. For finding a fixed abode. A. To live in a monastery suitable for meditation practice. Ideally, one should live in the same monastery as one's teacher, but if this is inconvenient, one should find a residence that is suitable and supportive to meditation. The commentaries mention 18 unfavourable monasteries or dwellings with the following features. It is large, a monastery in which monks have divergent interests and opinions, in which there are many troubles, and which is not peaceful. It is new, a monastery in which one gets caught up in building projects. It is dilapidated, it requires a lot of upkeep. It is next to a road where there are many visitors. It has a stone-lined pond where many people congregate. It contains plants with edible leaves. It contains flowering bushes. It contains fruit trees. In the case of these last three factors, people will likely be a disturbance by saying cut flowers or asking for fruit. It is famous example, people believe that there is an exceptional monk residing here and will gather in large numbers. It is near a city, it is situated among timber trees, it is near arable fields, i.e. it is near where people work. The monastery contains incompatible, troublesome people. It is near a pier or transport station. It is in a remote area where people have no faith in Buddhism. It is on the frontier between two powerful nations. It may be dangerous. It has unsuitable features. It contains disturbances. It is absent of virtuous companions. An appropriate monastery or dwelling contains 5 attributes. 1. It is neither too close nor too far. It is convenient to come and go. 2. During the day it is not crowded. During the night it is not noisy. 3. It is free from biting insects, intrusive creatures, and extreme weather conditions. 4. It is a place where one does not lack the 4 requisites. 5. There is an elder residing there who is well versed in the Dhamma and is able to offer guidance. B. To dispel minor worries and concerns regarding one's body and one's everyday personal belongings. To not allow these things to disturb the mind. For example, one gives attention to shaving, clipping one's nails, sewing and dyeing one's robes, and keeping one's lodging clean. 5. General practice of meditation. In regard to practicing a specific meditation technique, each technique has unique details and methods of practice. It is possible, however, to give a general outline for the development of concentration. One such outline found in the scriptures is the classification into 3 stages of training or development. Initial development, parikama bhavana, access concentration development, upachara bhavana, and attainment concentration development, appanna bhavana. Before describing these 3 stages of development, it is important to explain the Pali term nimitta. Nimitta is a mental sign used for concentration, or it is a mental image representing the object used in meditation. There are 3 such signs, classified in order of level of achievement. 1. Parikama nimitta, preparatory or initial sign. Any object that is used as the focus of meditation, for example, to gaze at a kasina disc, to focus on the breath, or to reflect on the Buddha's virtues, and to recognize that some of these virtues exist in one's own mind. 2. Ugaha nimitta, a learning sign, a sign taken up by the mind to impress on the mind, or impressed on the mind. This refers to the preparatory sign parikama nimitta, the meditation object which has been focused or reflected on to the point of precise discernment, where a person develops a vivid mental impression of the object. For example, one focuses on a kasina disc until this impression is imprinted in the mind and visible even with the eyes shut. 3. Patibhaga nimitta, a virtual counterpart or approximate sign. This image is similar to the learning sign but is more deeply impressed on the mind, to the point where it arises out of the perception sanya of the person in a state of concentration. It is pure, for example, free from any colour and stainless, and the person is able to expand or contract any aspect of this image at will. The first 2 kinds of nimitta are accessible through all meditation techniques, but the 3rd kind, patibhaga nimitta, is only accessible through the 22 techniques which have a material object as a focus, that is, the 10 kasina meditations, the 10 meditations on fullness, recollection of the body, and mindfulness of breathing. The term bhavana, meaning cultivation, refers to practicing a meditation technique or to developing concentration. The 3 stages of concentration development are as follows. 1. Initial stage of development, parikama bhavana, to focus on and obtain a preliminary image of a meditation object. For example, one gazes at a kasina disc, focuses on the in and out breath at the tip of the nose, or reflects on the Buddha's virtues inherent in oneself. Simply speaking, one focuses on the preparatory sign, parikama nimitta, on the meditation object. When one sustains this focus to the point of gaining an accurate mental impression of the object, a learning sign, ugaha nimitta, arises. The mind attains an initial stage of concentration which is called preparatory concentration, parikama samadhi, or momentary concentration, kanika samadhi. 2. Access development, upachara bhavana. One relies on preparatory concentration to sustain one's focus on the learning sign until this sign becomes firmly established in the mind and there arises a counterpart sign, patibhaga nimitta. The mental hindrances nirvana subside with meditation techniques, not focusing on a material object. There is no counterpart sign. One simply reflects on the meditation object and concentrates on it until the hindrances subside. The mind is established in access concentration, upachara samadhi. This is the highest stage of sense sphere concentration, kama vachara samadhi. 3. Attainment development, apana bhavana. One continually cultivates the counterpart sign while in access concentration, protecting it so that it does not fade or disappear, by avoiding unsuitable places, people and food, and by associating with suitable things. One knows which methods help to generate attainment concentration. For example, by sustaining one's focus in an optimal way. In the end, a person reaches attainment concentration, appanna samadhi, and enters the first jhana, which is the initial stage of fine material concentration, rupavachara samadhi. With many meditation techniques, the object of meditation is extremely subtle. There is no material object to focus on or to contact physically, and thus the image of this object does not become clear enough. The mind is unable to be concentrated and absorbed for long. Such techniques do not give rise to a counterpart sign and only lead to the level of access concentration. With techniques using a coarse meditation object, which can be seen clearly and physically contacted, on the other hand, the mind can be concentrated for a long period of time. These techniques give rise to a counterpart sign and lead to attainment concentration. An exception to this is the meditation on the 4 unbounded states of mind, appamana, the divine abidings, Brahma Vihara. This meditation does not use a distinct material object as a focus for attention, and thus does not give rise to a counterpart sign. But because sentient beings are the focus of attention, this meditation provides a clear enough image to lead to attainment concentration. With the attainment of the first jhana, the next step is to develop proficiency in regard to the first jhana and to make effort in order to attain the other jhanas in turn, within the limits of attainment possible by each specific meditation technique. In this way, a person realizes the appropriate fruits of tranquility meditation, samatha.